All right. Oh, welcome to the Alabama weekend, to Easter weekend, however you choose to celebrate, whatever you may be doing. I hope it is a fantastic weekend for you. So, talked about it all week, the hurdle of weather. Will this be a problem? Will this be impactful? We know we need the rain, but what comes with it? What caveats are there to the forecast that could disrupt what you're doing here over the next couple of days? So, laying it out in very simple forms, the rain arrives here Saturday night. It's not going to be a all weekend event. All right. Most of these fronts, they span a couple hours, several hours sometimes, and then move on. So with that in mind, we're going to narrow down exactly when our rain chances are going to be for the weekend, specifically on Sunday morning. And we'll talk a little bit about the cooler air that follows after this stretch of rain. So we'll start with this. And again, the reason I show this is just it's a public product that's put out there. It's released to anybody who wants to look at it from the SPC. The way I interpret this map is that is where we will see thunderstorms. Okay. Outside of the green, it's just going to be rain. Do I think that there's a severe threat? I do not. Does that mean that there cannot be severe weather? It does not. I'm not the answer key. Certainly not. I do my best, but based off of everything I see, this is a rain, some thunder event for us moving forward. I'm going to focus now on central Alabama, my DMA, and our outlook for the night. Again, window opens as early as, say, 7 o'clock for our westernmost counties, and it'll go until perhaps Sunday morning. However, I think that window for there to be thunderstorms is going to be very narrow. By and large, a lot of us just have hopefully a soaking stratiform rain once all is said and done. So I'm going to go to our future view product here. All right. If we have anything to kind of look at for time wise, this should give us a better look. This is a model that does higher resolution, helps us depict more accuracy or with more accuracy the timing. So this is at noon. All right. We'll push this forward to Saturday afternoon. And what you're going to see here, by and large, is the afternoon is relatively dry. You see this model picking up on some isolated convection here, which is certainly a possibility. But I think our better rain chances come towards the evening. So also notice that meter I've plotted down there. That is when our thunderstorms are most likely, and you're going to watch that bar as it changes through the night. This is 7 o'clock. What do we have at 7? We still have daytime heating. The sun has not set. Highs will be in the 80s. You have some heat energy at the surface and instability aloft. As we go through the evening, thunderstorms still possible, if not probable, by about 10 o'clock. That potential drops dramatically once we get past midnight. Notice the structure, the integrity of that line. It's degraded. It does not necessarily look like it's a well-defined line, and it makes sense that it does not. The center low for this is going to be up over the Great Lakes region, meaning that's where the best shear is. That's where the best dynamic forcing will be. We can overcome a lack of instability and have strong storms. You got to have something else, and we just don't necessarily have that in play, at least as of now. I don't anticipate it. By early Sunday morning, this is at 7 o'clock, and again, not the answer key, but you can see if you're further north and west away from Birmingham, pretty good chance that you're done with the rain. To the south and east, you could be looking at some lingering showers. Most of this on the backside of that lead edge of the front is going to be very light rain, nevertheless, nuisance rain. Then we go through the day on Sunday, and it's all about how quickly do we get the rain out of here. I think most spots are clear by about 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe 11. And then it'll be interesting with temperatures. I think clouds kind of hang around for a good part of the day, and our temperatures are going to eventually rise back up. But you see at about 11 o'clock, we got temperatures in the upper 50s. All right, that's a cold front coming through. With daytime heating, we can rebound to the 60s, but it's going to be a much cooler afternoon than what we have seen. Now I'm grabbing, this is the same model, different product, okay? So what are we looking at here with respect to this data set? This is instability, and I'll circle a couple areas here that are, basically this is moderate instability, and decent here. Where these lighter colors are, meh, take or leave. That's good enough to get a crack of thunder. But remember, at noon, don't have the rain storms around. So moving forward to when we do, and really I put that first kind of time window of that line around 7. Okay. So at 7, we have weak instability at best. Okay. This is our best potential for thunderstorms. I don't know that with a cooling surface and slightly warmer air that'll be above us, you can equate it to you shake up, you got your soda bottle, right? You can shake it all you want. Pressure's going to build unless there's a cap you can take off for that pressure to freely rise and explode out. You're not going to get that explosive updraft. If we have warm air aloft, which I think we will from the daytime heating, that's going to limit the amount of instability and vertical motion we have. So, really, after 7 o'clock, our thunderstorm threat begins to trend downward. By 12:45, 1 o'clock, the rain is all through central Alabama. Remember, the coverage is almost maximized at this point, but there's no instability left. So this is just rain, okay? And I think that's how it's going to be for a lot of folks beyond midnight and into early Sunday morning. One other product we often use, this is, in extreme cases, this is a look at the energy helicity index. So this is taking the product I just showed you, it's adding with it the wind dynamics, the wind energy, the shear, and giving, okay, what is the probability of these storms rotating? And most of what you're seeing here does not even draw on the spectrum, on the level that we look at to be a supercell or to rotate here. So this tells me that the rotational updrafts are most likely not happening. If they are going to happen, remember the lead edge of the line is right over here. Okay, so if you're going to have any sort of rotation at the line, it's going to be at the lead edge. Even that is beyond really low or marginal. So could there be a wind gust? Sure. Are we looking at a widespread concern for warnings? No, I'd be very surprised personally, but I have been before. So always, that's why we tell you to always watch. Let's dive in now to Sunday morning. Okay. So you're waking up. I don't know what your routine is on Sunday. All right. I know what we did on Easter Sunday. We're going to freeze this in time at 7 a.m. Sunrise is at about 6:30 on Sunday morning. And you can see the division in temperatures. So West Alabama, what is our rain potential? Let's take it hour by hour first. 7 o'clock, about 50 degrees for the western half of the state, western third of the state. We'll be in the 50s for much of the morning, but our rain chance here is minimal and dropping to 0 over this time. Okay, let's go to central Alabama. Same thing. You can see that front bisecting the region, basically just south of 459. Temperatures in the 50s. What is our rain potential here? That's going to be more in the slight range. All right. So the rain is not going to leave central Alabama as quickly as it will west Alabama. Let's move it ahead to East Alabama. Now you're looking at a further delayed timeline in the departure of the rain. We're still going to be ahead of the front at this point. Still going to be some good showers. So I'm thinking in this window from 7 to 11, we have a moderate to high potential for rain. So it's very tough in this particular setup to quantify one singular time frame of when the rain's going to be done because of how wide and the overall motion and magnitude of this swath of rain. So hopefully that kind of puts into context what we are looking at here. Here's another way to just look at it. If you're looking at it like, hey, can I cross the road or not? Can I go outside for a sunrise service or not? Yeah, I'd have pause about it at 6 o'clock, and that goes for just about everywhere. Once you get to 9, I'd be hesitant, but honestly, I'm leaning towards okay, and I'd give it the all green light really after 10 o'clock into the afternoon. Ground will be damp, but by and large, things are going to be okay for doing anything outside. This is a look at WPC rain totals here, and you could tell we've got anywhere from 1 to maybe 1.5 up to 2 inches of rain with this event. And the reason we don't show these too often is it's almost impossible to depict with a system like this what we are going to see with respect to the actual totals. These cells have heavier pockets, lighter pockets, and it's you can have training, you can have areas that get kind of skipped over. It's never that uniform. But this will be our only rain potential here over the next 7 days, and we need the rain, wash away the pollen, yada yada, all that good stuff. But my takeaway here is we have rain Saturday night, we have rain Sunday morning. We have rain enough to be impactful if you're trying to do something outside Sunday morning. The rain will be lighter at that point, and then tapering off throughout the day. And then from a temperature standpoint, next week, you remember in March, our floor was a freeze, and it still can be. But in April, our floor, meaning our coolest, when we talk about cold air coming in, is the 40s. And I think that's where we'll be next week for morning temperatures. Our afternoon highs all will be in the 70s. So really, what we're looking at next week is just seasonal weather, maybe slightly below average with those low to mid 40s. I see no signs of a frost here, at least in central Alabama. But again, the pattern beyond there looks pretty quiet. So happy Easter, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Been a while since I did this, but got any questions? Drop it below. See you next time.